Well, everyone, the iPhone 13 is one of those iPhones that came out so many years ago, so let's go and see how this particular iPhone holds up in the middle part of 2024. Now, I've already done a few reviews of this thing, so, this is not going to be the end-all be-all. Like I said before, I've already done like 3 reviews of this thing probably this year. I've done many comparisons of this particular device right now as well. So I would tell you, in my personal opinion, this device in a lot of different ways is still, worth buying. I think it's a really good device, and I'm a really big fan of it for sure. So if you want to pick it up, links are down in the description. You can get it from there, and you can help support the channel at the same exact time. Now, starting off with the outside of the iPhone 13, we already kind of hit on this a lot, but this thing still has that 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. It's a 60Hz panel, so nothing super crazy here, but it's a good looking panel. You have the notch up top, and overall, when I compared this thing, even against something like the Samsung Galaxy S24, this type of device did actually a pretty good job. Like, I think it's still a good device panel, still has a lot of capability and everything going for it, which I think is still very, very nice. I don't know if it's the best panel of all time, but it's still a good enough panel for the most part. With something like the iPhone 13, the only downside maybe on the exterior for the big span is probably the lack of a USB Type-C port. This thing still has lightning, which is probably fine, but I will tell you, going up to the USB-C like on the iPhone 15s is a very nice thing to have. Now you're getting a glass back on the backside, dual camera setup. You're also getting wide ultra-wide camera. You're getting, MagSafe capability on the backside. You're still getting a lot of good capability, a lot of good stuff on this particular phone, which I'm a very big fan of. And if I'm going to look at this device, I would definitely say this is a very good feeling phone on the exterior. On top of that, with its software, this phone is still going to be supported with software. It's still going to be getting iOS 18, as you probably would have expected. And this device still has a long future ahead of it. This device isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And if you're going to go through and buy any new device, this thing is basically going to be giving you a very long lifespan ahead of it, which is wonderful and it's beautiful. I love being able to go ahead and buy a phone and have it supported with software for a long period of time, and this is exactly what's going on here. I do think this year Apple's probably going to start improving their software lifespan maybe a little bit, so maybe they'll give like 8 years or something in order to kind of beat Google and Samsung. But I do think this device still does a really good job at basically all the software side of things that you'd probably ever throw at it, in my personal opinion. So that right there is probably another big thing to keep in mind. On top of that, I'd probably say something like the iPhone 13's performance is still very good. This thing is still giving you that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 4GB of RAM. And I will definitely tell you, in my personal opinion, that is a really good amount of RAM to have in a device. I mean, not the most, but it's like good enough for like kind of a mid-tier, iPhone. But also I would say if you're going to go through and get any sort of device right now, this is still a really decent option. Mostly because of the performance, it's very hard to beat a phone like this that's going to be giving you this caliber of performance in this type of price range. It's like a $500 brand new iPhone, but you can also buy it for or $600 or something like that. But it's also substantially cheaper in the used market as well. And it does kind of sometimes make more sense to go and just buy those types of devices rather than buying this one, if that makes any sense. But I will tell you, with the iPhone 13, from that particular side, very, very good type of performance as well. But on top of that, I will probably say when it comes down to the iPhone 13's battery life, it is also still a very good performing battery life as well. And I do think that's another really nice thing, because the performance of this thing is great, and the battery life performance is also very, very decent as well. And I do feel like if you're going to go through and buy any sort of device, having a device, that's kind of like in that caliber is a very, very nice thing. And as I mentioned before, I think that's a very cool thing going on here as well. So I definitely do think something like the, iPhone 13 in the middle part of 2024 is still completely worth buying. I think it's a very, very good phone. And as I said before, it's like very hard to kind of get any worse than this thing. I think this type of device does a really good job at a majority of things you throw at it. And I definitely do think this is a very, very good phone for sure. So when it comes down to that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.